You're listening to the IoT Weekly Podcast, episode number 18. Hello, and welcome to episode number 18 of the IoT Weekly Podcast, brought to you by Gearforge Software. My name is Matthew, and I'm joined by my co-hosts and good friends, Cliff and Zeineb. Hey, guys.
Hey, cheerio.
Hi.
Cheerio.
Exactly.
Is that new?
I'm going with it with today's episode. I think it's befitting.
Yes, it is, because we have a super fun, extra special episode of the IoT Weekly Podcast for you this week, but I won't give it away until
it is our favorite. I think it's our favorite.
So far, it's going to be so much fun.
Oh.
Yes. So, Cliff, what have you been up to?
Well, I finally got around to reading again, and I finished up thank you very much, outside of work, but I finished up the book Drunkard's Walk, How Randomness Rules Our Lives. I'm going to put a link into it in our show notes if you want to take a look at it. Short read, but a lot of fun going through history and kind of thinking through randomness specifically and how it kind of helps from a day-to-day standpoint. Really interesting. Fun book to read.
Sounds good.
Yes.
Zeineb, how about you? What have you been up to?
I've had an absolute blast just writing the stuff for today's show. There's so much salt. The foreshadowing.
Gosh.
But I also I got a good chunk of the Arduino project done, unless Cliff disagrees anyway.
No, she's done a great job crimping and all types of wire splits. Just done a great job so far. So next step, she gets to do a little coding.
Yes. Oh, what about you, Matthew?
That's awesome. Well, things have been good, other than extracting data from a really old Access database for a client.
Good times.
My wife and I went to the premiere of the movie Ready Player One, and it was here in the Twin Cities, so not like official premiere. We weren't on the red carpet or anything.
Oh, seriously? I thought you guys were like suit and tie and all the whole
flew
night.
out there. Yeah, no, but they did have
flew out there in a DeLorean.
Yeah, exactly. They did have a DeLorean there at the event, at the IMAX theater, and it was like basically a DeLorean souped up, just like the one from Back to the Future, Mr. Fusion and everything. So that was kind of cool. And yeah, they had some like VR headsets for people to try on, and kind of made a whole event of it. So that was something. I did discover there was a downside though, guys.
Really? The popcorn is too salty?
No,
it always
although
is.
I have stories about that, but I discovered it was in 3D. The movie was in 3D. I've never done a 3D movie before. I've never seen one, and I discovered
Really?
I get quite nauseous from that. So that was less fun.
Especially if you have salty popcorn.
Yes, exactly. A few weeks ago, I made a batch of homemade popcorn, and it was so salty, it was almost inedible.
Really?
Yeah.
Almost?
I ate it anyway.
Of course you did. Of course. We made homemade kettle corn, and of course I burnt the entire bottom of the pan, but outside of the burnt stuff, it actually turned out pretty good.
Yeah, I love kettle corn.
I do too.
Yum.
Too much.
Yeah, so guys, I wanted to share something to kind of kick off our episode this week.
All right.
This is something I saw on Twitter, and this is from Arvind Narayanan. Sorry, I've mispronounced your name. Or at @random_walker. And he tweeted out, "Tech buzzwords explained. AI equals regression. Big data equals data. Blockchain equals database. Algorithm equals automated decision-making. Cloud equals internet.
Fair enough.
Crypto equals cryptocurrency. Dark web equals onion service. Data science equals statistics done by non-statisticians. disruption equals competition.
Sure.
Viral equals popular, and IoT equals malware-ready device.
Shots fired.
And I got I laughed literally out loud.
That's so funny. It is hilarious.
Yeah. So that was very
I'll
good.
take one malware-ready device, please.
Yes, exactly. I'll order 1,000 malware-ready devices and run out of IP addresses.
Oh God.
Right. Yeah. So, Cliff.
Yes, Matthew.
Do we still have? Or do we have a Twitter account or running any kind of contest?
We do have a Twitter account. So as always, we seem to be running a contest all the time on Twitter. I just think folks don't think that we're giving out real things here, but we've got a whole stack of IoT buttons from Amazon that I bought way too many of. And so just to try to get rid of these things, Amazon ended up giving us to them, or giving them to us, and now we're giving them to you. So we've had a couple that we've shipped out. We just like to ship the rest of these out if we could.
We want to give you an IoT button.
I really just want to give you a button. That's all I want to do.
Please stick our buttons.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want with these buttons here. So when you get 700 followers, we're going to choose another person at random to receive it. We now have 665 followers.
Wow.
There was another one?
Yeah.
That's great.
Yes.
Yeah, it's great. And we've gotten some folks actually chatting with us on the actually Twitter. So Adil Ahmed. So want to say thanks
absolutely.
For liking us and telling us that he'll see us at the IoT Fuse Conference, and he was at the same concert that Matthew was. So
he was at the Godspeed You Black Emperor show.
Exactly.
Yeah. Cool.
So super cool.
Yeah.
We can't wait to see you, Adil, at the upcoming conference.
Yeah,
and then we've had a few other folks reach out specifically from the podcast, Matthew.
Mm-hmm.
And I just hope I don't get the name of this company wrong, but it's Thyrea Labs. We're going to be connecting with them and hopefully getting them here on the show to talk a little about their dev kit. They've got one coming to us for us to check out. And then another one, a couple other folks too that have reached out beyond them. So
it's really
exciting. Just been super exciting. We've had lots of folks over this last week.
Well, one of the reasons Cliff and I decided to start the podcast was really we felt the need for some maybe community building.
Yep.
And while I think there are certainly lots of good ways to build community through local user groups and that kind of thing, we were really looking at our schedules and trying to think what would be the best way to sort of connect to the most people. And we felt like podcasting would probably be a good way to do that, because we'll meet people that we would never run across face-to-face or at a conference, just simply because they listen to the podcast. And our hope is really to get a lot of communication with listeners. And so, in that spirit of community building, we'd love to hear from you. Send us your feedback. You can send it to us at our email, podcast@gearforgesoftware.com. You can talk to us on Twitter. And certainly if you're going to be in the Twin Cities area, or if you are in the Twin Cities area, we'd love to connect with you at IoT Fuse, the conference that's coming up here in a few weeks.
It's going to be so much fun. I mean, we're going to see Adil, and I'm already friends with him. We had a small conversation.
Oh, nice.
So it's going to be fun.
That's awesome. And Zeineb, you're going to come, right? Or are you still trying to figure out if you can make it to the conference?
Yeah, I have finals. I'm a student. I mean, I would try. I will really try, because I really want to be there.
We do have a few free tickets.
Hello.
All right.
Cliff, if we haven't given away all those IoT buttons by then,
I think we should give them away at the conference.
Yeah, maybe we can do some kind of a drawing or something.
I think we should.
That's exactly what I'm thinking.
I love the idea. Let's bring a fishbowl.
I know.
The hat.
Perfect.
Yep. So we'll do shots of tequila and give away buttons. I think that's a great idea. We're going to be the most popular place at the conference.
I hope so.
I hope so too.
So this seems like a perfect tie-in to talk about the conference a little bit. Zeineb, do you have anything to to say about our sponsor, the IoT Fuse Conference 2018?
Oh yeah. So it's really fun conference. So it's happening May 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. 2 of those days are purely workshops. And so this is the 4th edition, and they're trying to unite accomplished doers, makers, and hackers with the executives, entrepreneurs, and innovators. So right now it's trying to bring a robust community of IoT practitioners, developers, and makers who want to build a deeper understanding of where IoT is today, where it is headed in the future, and how the associated technologies and use cases can help improve the physical world in which we live. So if you want to know more, if you want to get your tickets before the price increase, you can go get them at iotfuse.com. You can learn a little more about these sessions, including ours.
Yes.
Which is a practical IoT machine learning, not just for data scientists. So for me as well. If I can go, you can go. So yeah.
Excellent. Yep, it should be a great event. And again, if you're going to be attending, please swing by. We'll be there. We will have a booth. We will have a talk, and we'd love to meet you. So stop by and say hi. Friends, it is now time for the news.
For the reveal.
Yes, for the great reveal. So the theme today is going to be
drumroll.
IoT that probably shouldn't be.
IoT, exactly.
Yes. We looked for everything that we could find that would be basically sort of like useless and or funny. So not necessarily useless. Some of them are potentially useful, but are humorous.
Very humorous.
That sum it up, do you think?
And apparently people are turning these things out time over time. It's just continuously here.
Well, Zeineb found more than we could possibly ever cover. So
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I mean, we probably have 40 different scenarios here, but we're going to talk about, it looks like maybe 5 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Starting
out strong. The IoT Smart Condom.
Oh
my gosh.
Now this, I swear this is quoted from the website, and it says, "The future of your sex life starts here."
I thought it was college.
Well, these are not being sold yet, but they're taking early bird kind of registration. So you can register your interest to get one of these at britishcondoms.uk. And basically, it's marketed as a smart condom, but honestly, it's actually a ring. And it usually takes all these data from your, quote, life sessions and records them for you. I mean, they claim it is anonymous, for you to share with your friends.
Of course it's anonymous.
For you to share with your friends or with, quote unquote, indeed the world.
Is it like those, it's like the exercise apps that you can, you can have a partner and share your data, essentially?
That is actually exactly it.
Oh my.
Oh, and the data it records, Matthew, I'm looking at it, is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
I don't even want to talk about it here,
exactly.
But wow. I mean, haven't you ever always wanted to know your average skin temperature?
I've never thought about it.
And that's
now I am. Thank you very much.
Yeah, anytime. And that's just the basics of what it can record. It looks like it must have an accelerometer in this darn thing. Wow.
And a counter and a bunch of other things.
Yeah.
And it connects to your phone via Bluetooth. And
here's what I think
it's like there's like a scoreboard, and you could just
here's
I do better than my friend over there. I'm like, why would you do that?
Here's what I'm curious about. It says, I want it. When will it be available? And it says, we are in final stages of testing.
Oh, no.
What does testing look like for this thing?
No.
Just wiggling it around, see if it counts.
Oh. Wow.
This can't be right. There's a bug.
I'm sitting in the office, and one of my coworkers just looked at me and be like, "What are you doing?"
Yes. Well, I tell you, on the website, it's got a lot of related products, as you can imagine, that are available for sale.
Yes, I can imagine. This is definitely on the list of things nobody needs.
Actually, it seems like a lot of people want it, and so they're like super excited about it. So much they're gonna retail it for $81 at the end of this year. So
That's insane.
yeah.
Well, you heard it here first, people. The future of IoT.
Yeah, and the benefit is it ships in a plain, unmarked package.
It's very discreet. As discreet as sharing your numbers with your neighbors.
Yep, exactly. Yep.
Well, for goodness sake, I wouldn't want to have to be embarrassed of this thing.
Yeah. Hey, and they've got a 365 no hassle return policy, 100%.
Oh no.
Yeah.
How convenient.
Isn't it? Wow.
Well, actually, it says you can return anything that has been unopened and unused for up to 1 year.
Well, so that's different.
Well, duh.
But if you, well, wow. So, yeah.
So this is on your wish list now, Cliff?
I don't know. It ships to the U.S. apparently, so it's only
that's good.
3.98 British pounds for the rest of the world.
All right. Very good.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I'll have to ask Santa for one of these for Christmas, but I don't know. It just seems like a lot of extra work.
It does, doesn't it?
It does.
I mean, I can't keep up with my Fitbit.
Well, it kind of looks like a Fitbit, Matthew.
I know it does.
Could be a cheaper one, to be fair. Just slip it on your wrist.
That'd be so funny. You wear it around your wrist instead of... What is that, Matthew? It's my new Fitbit.
That's right.
It's my i.Con.
Oh, the i.Con.
What do you think?
Sleek design.
Oh, well.
Matthew's data gets breached, and he's like the most active individual wearing it as a Fitbit.
Yes, right.
Oh, my God.
They're using it wrong.
Yes.
Well, moving on. Cliff, what does pizza have to do with shoes?
What does pizza not have to do with shoes, Matthew?
I'm so disappointed in the human race right now.
Oh, so last weekend, or last Friday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Heather and I were up in Duluth visiting potential client up there. And you would not believe this, but we don't watch TV. We don't even have cable TV. So we were sitting in bed just watching TV, and I was like, what the dickens is this? And they're showing a pair of Pizza Hut shoes, and you like press the middle, and apparently you can actually order pizza, and the Pie Tops 2 is what they're calling it, can pause your TV when it's at the front door. So of course, Pizza Hut is the official pizza for March Madness. And it introduced them last year, but apparently you can actually buy these things. They're gonna make 50 pairs of these shoes available the week of March 19th. So we're already past that, with other pairs to come later in the year. So if you follow, as you can imagine, on Twitter, they'll tell you more. But it's just crazy. I mean, I just can't even imagine that you click these things to order pizza.
So I have two things to say. The first is, do they sell them? I mean, are they programmable? Because I don't want to order a pizza, but it might be fun to have a pair of shoes with a button I could push to, like it's like an IoT button, but as shoes, right?
Yeah. So apparently it's like you've got a phone app. It's still a little shaky, not quite all here yet, right? But essentially it's a phone app, and when you press it, it's got your pre-programmed kind of pizzas as a setting. So it's just like when I'm in the need for what I don't even know. I don't know the last time I ordered pizza but it's like, yeah, I want my double deluxe meat pizza with cheese in the crust, and get it to me quickly. I want 2 of them.
It's very disappointing when you prefer Domino's.
Yeah.
And I feel like these
can I change carriers on this pair of shoes?
Yeah, like if there's only 50 of these, they're probably like a collector item. Like
I think they are going to be. I mean, it reminds me of kind of Back to the Future type thing.
Yeah.
Right.
So so you can get them in red, Matthew, or wheat.
Oh, red.
Yeah. It's kind of like, looks like poop. Is kind of what it reminds me of. With red on it. That's kind of what it looks like to me. I
That
wouldn't
is
get.
very fashionable.
Yeah.
Cliff,
Yeah.
He'll say it like it is. It looks like poop to me.
It does. It kind of looks that way. So I'd go with the red if I were you, because then it's like red and white. They
I just
look
like
pretty
color.
fancy. So
If you're gonna get a pair of smart sneakers that order pizzas, you should get the red ones.
yeah. Well, it says like pizza on the side, and they're high tops, of course. So you'd look great in the summer with those and a pair of shorts, Matthew.
Oh, wouldn't I?
Oh God.
Everybody agrees.
Yes, with a March Madness T-shirt.
Oh my goodness.
So
That is something
so
else.
someone actually got these shoes. I'd love to know how your pizza was.
Yeah, I mean, it is such a novelty. But look, it's working for them. Here we are talking about it.
100%. Yep. Oh my gosh.
So our next article is about a smart mirror.
I've seen those on TV.
Yeah, and this one, I think this one is funny, but I actually, when I look at this, I'm kind of like, I could see how this could be useful. It's silly because it's so completely unnecessary, and I would never pay the money for it now. But I could totally see how in the future something like this will just be the way things are. Like, to me, this reminds me of Star Trek. And basically the idea is this is created by Griffin Technology. It is the connected mirror, because, you know, the worst thing in everyday life is burning your toast and missing out on your tweets while you're trying to like get your hair ready for the day, right? Now, I don't have much hair, so that
No, you don't.
apply to me, but for the rest of humanity.
Yeah.
So this basically connects to your home Wi-Fi. It displays time, weather, notifications from your phone, emails, social media, and apparently keeps track of other devices. So if you have other Griffin Smart House devices, like a coffee maker, toaster, phone charger, so on and so forth, it'll display that data too. And it just otherwise looks like a mirror. The demo photo sort of shows a backlight. Like, it looks very slick. I think it looks really cool.
Yeah.
It does.
And
Quite beautiful.
this sort of subtle text on there with the weather and stuff like that. I mean, frankly, I kind of like this concept, you know. It is kind of expensive. It's like $1,000. I would not pay that for a mirror personally, but I could see cases where this would be sort of a cool thing to have. And in a future where something like this isn't $1,000, I might, you know, give it a try.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm quite confused about the fact that it's connected to the rest of the Griffin Smart House devices, like the toaster.
Yeah.
And the coffee maker, like, hey, why don't you worry about, like, you just woke up and you're already worrying about your tweets and your emails.
My question
and
is,
your toast is burning.
How many
What a
people
day.
eat toast every morning? Like, do you guys eat toast every day? Maybe I'm missing out on something here.
I don't eat much
I think
toast.
You might be.
Do you eat toast a lot, Zeineb?
I'm Mediterranean. Baguettes run in my blood.
Baguettes versus toast, that's like two different things in my opinion.
We toast them sometimes. We're that crazy.
So do you have toast like every morning, or do you have baguettes?
A mixture.
Really?
We love our bread.
Huh. I mean, ours, I probably have more dust on our toaster, if anything.
For me, toast is more of a snack. Toast is not usually a morning thing. Toast is like a snack and or maybe even a dessert for me.
Huh.
That is weird.
That's
like at
interesting.
night, 8 at night, might feel like a piece of toast with some peanut butter on it, maybe some honey.
Mm.
Yeah, I like peanut butter, but and maybe I'm just one of those odd ones here. We just don't eat a lot of toast. It's just like a weekend thing, you know?
Well, you could skip the toast, Cliff. You can just eat the peanut butter.
Yeah.
I do. I could share it with Yoda, my dog. He loves peanut butter.
Did you know we used to give our dogs peanut butter, and one of them turns out to be allergic. It's got like a peanut allergy. Yeah,
It's horrific.
I know, right?
Huh. Yeah, I'm just really curious to see the rest of the stuff with because it has the coffee maker and the mirror and power beacon and power jolt beacon. Not certain what those actually mean. And of course, the toaster. I love it.
None of these is. I mean, you don't need any of this on your mirror.
No.
Right? I don't care. No. You don't need the weather on the mirror. It doesn't matter. I certainly don't need to know when my coffee is done brewing on the mirror. It's not necessary, but that's what makes it funny, right?
I know.
But on the flip side, I kind of think it's cool. Like this, of all of the devices in the list this time, like the i.Con is just ridiculous. I do not. There's nothing to do with a pair of pizza ordering sneakers, but laugh at them.
Oh, of course.
This mirror, I could kind of see like, yeah, I could see this. Maybe not the toaster, but the weather, and stuff like that.
Yeah, if you could get this, I think if you could get it set up, essentially where it's working with the different sizes of the bathrooms and everything, I think that's where they're going to have more problems. Is of course me, Mr. Practical here, because it's like my wife's sink's on the left, my sink's on the right. I don't want her tweets on my side because she's going to think they're stupid typically.
No, you gotta pick your side, Cliff.
I know, that's like, I want to pick my side, right?
Yeah.
And I gotta have my weather over there. She doesn't have to she worries. It's my job to watch the weather, not hers. So
I think I might actually like that. Like I can see myself brushing my teeth, and you're standing there for like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And scroll, maybe not scrolling, but I wouldn't mind getting a preview of my inbox to know what I'm walking into.
Matthew, did you get stuck in the bathroom again? No.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm responding to emails. Stop! I'm like typing on the mirror. There are a bunch of fingerprints.
Oh God! Like you went from spending 20 minutes just tweeting on the bathroom to an hour responding to emails.
I know, exactly. You just went from reading to responding.
What happened to my morning? I spent the whole morning in the bathroom.
Yeah.
It's not what you think.
I honestly just saw it and I thought, this is one way to ruin the morning. Like, hey, I just woke up. Now I'm going to get blasted with all these emails.
Yes, I'm right there.
So,
not where I want to be.
Speaking of dumbest possible reasons, I'd like to talk about some flip-flops next.
I like flip-flops.
On the flip side.
They have their uses. Right?
They do.
Flip-flops are useful. I like that this article's from Gizmodo, and I like that the name of the article was "These flip-flops are smart for the dumbest possible reason."
That's the best part ever.
That is really good. So basically, this is a pair of flip-flops. There are smart flip-flops, and the leather contains a sensor that connects to an app that the owners of the flip-flops are encouraged to download. The app then provides updates, discounts, and special offers. So basically it gives you, I don't know, it's like, is it Groupon plus flip-flops? It's like...
So wait,
$410?
There's no fitness data?
No, so it basically does not collect data. It doesn't collect location or activity data from the flip-flops, but it says it does help the company, Harimari, get information through the app about what user preferences may be. So basically the tie-in is somehow these flip-flops connect to an app, but the flip-flops themselves collect nothing useful apparently about your activity, and the company is using the app to collect data about your preferences through what like ads and discounts you interact with, I guess.
Well, that just sounds
Which
ridiculous.
Seems super silly. Like you do not need smart flip-flops to connect to do nothing, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So, and they say basically, there's no opportunity to really track the user going on here. So this definitely takes the cake for me for smart device that is not at all smart.
No,
I honestly have to agree.
Not at all. Well, I just read through the article some more, and it comes from, so Harry Mary didn't even pay for this technology. It's Emmett Smith's Prova group put the tags in the shoes, and they're doing it to see if they can actually acquire customer data. And so Prova did this basically to prove that you could do this, that it can actually work. So that's kind of wild. But I mean, it kind of reminds me of kind of those clothes, right? Wasn't that Gap that did that thing with the sew-in tags, but it was somebody else that actually did it, if you remember right? So it wasn't in Gap.
Are you referring to the recent article that we...
Yeah.
Was that L.O. Bean?
Oh, yeah, it was LB.
Oh,
It
yeah, it's
was.
LLB, not Gap. That's right. Yeah, so they had the sensor put in there, but the sensor was actually somebody else's, and LLB's just taking the heat for it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Totally. Totally.
But I mean, here's the thing: we're talking about these Harry Mary flip flops now.
We are, aren't we? And isn't that interesting? Because two of these are just ridiculous. Like,
They are,
sorry,
Mhm.
Pizza Hut, but your shoes are ridiculous. But they know that.
of course.
Like they
But it
did it to
works.
be ridiculous. Yeah, because we're talking about it, and somebody wrote
Yeah.
an article about it, and yeah,
And
getting press.
$110 flip flops. That is just crazy.
I think that's part of this whole IoT movement too. Is there are things that just were simply impossible to even think about a few years ago, and now you can do them. It's like why? Well, I don't know, because it's there.
Yeah, I can do it.
It
Because
doesn't
you
make any
can.
sense, but that doesn't matter.
Hmm.
So, Zeineb,
Yes.
what you're feeling salty about this next one?
Oh, am I feeling salty? I mean, if you read the article on the website, you'll find out just how salty it gets. So we were looking at all these ridiculous IoT devices, right? For me, this one takes the cake, actually. So this is called Smalt, or
nice.
Smart Salt, which is already a bad name in itself.
Yeah.
Hey, wanna go order some Smalt online? Sounds great. And basically, this is marketed as a salt dispenser that is supposed to elevate your dining experience. Now, as a
That sounds fancy.
It does sound fancy.
It does. You look at it, they have these professional, it is professionally made. It's on Kickstarter right now. They're selling it for $200, but for the early bird pricing, it's $99.
Wow.
So it's half price. So it's from 200 to 100. And supposedly it's a centerpiece that has mood lighting, an LCD screen to switch the amount of salt you want, which gets dispensed onto a dish, and a music player that connects to your phone.
Gosh.
That's just amazing.
And I'm thinking, well, hold on. So you're having a fun conversation, and suddenly it's very important for you to pick up your phone, shake it, pinch it, have the salt pour onto a tiny plate, pick up that plate, sprinkle the salt on your dish. It doesn't grab the salt, by the way. And then have that careless whisper playing in the background until the battery runs out, because it only lasts 4 hours.
Yeah, and mood music. Come on now.
Get that
So
mood lighting while you're talking politics, very important.
When I heard about this, I immediately said, "Oh, so you mean it tracks how much salt I'm eating?"
No,
Correct.
You know, no, no, it doesn't
Not
do
at
that.
I thought
Because-
it did too. I was pretty excited about it. I was like, oh, that is actually a great way to track how much salt you have. That's a big problem. No.
Well, you know, it's only one part, because you think all the processed foods that we eat have a bunch of salt in them, so you know it doesn't track that. But I could see if you were on a restricted sodium diet,
Mm-hmm.
maybe something that was around a salt dispenser, and perhaps some other way to track salt intake. You know, maybe it's something like a Fitbit plus a salt dispenser. I could see that being potentially a useful device, but of course this isn't that, is it? This is
It is not that whatsoever.
it is purely decorative.
Yeah.
It is. It's just for you to pick up your phone and look all fancy while you pinch your fingers like a French chef. Like, yes.
I love that.
Like I do the Salt Bay.
In order to dispense your salt, you have to get your phone.
That's the best part. Pick up the phone. No, it's even worse, Matthew. So you have to pick up the phone, select the setting, pick up the device, and it looks like you got to press a button on top of that after you turn it. I'm like, what happened to just turn the crank thing, or just turn it over, for God's sakes here?
Yeah.
And it
really
doesn't
wonder
grind the salt.
No, it doesn't. I'm still.
Look at the size of that thing.
Oh, I think it's just
like...
massive. you could bludgeon somebody to death with this thing. It's just huge. I mean,
that slick design.
This is kind of a mashup of like Amazon's Echo and
yeah,
Salt
it
Shaker.
is. And I really wonder if this thing's even still. I look on
Yes.
their Facebook page and their posts. I don't see anything in 2018 at all. So their last Facebook post was August 22nd. So I wonder if it's even available, or if they've kind of stopped.
Well, did the Kickstarter actually get funded?
That's a great question. I can't even find the Kickstarter page here.
There is the website though. That's still up.
Yeah, but
website.
you could have just forgotten about that.
Yeah.
Well,
I love paying for hosting
nope, I found
services.
the Indiegogo page. They need 25,000, and they have $9,426. So they are on their way.
All right. You know, it's describing it on the website as like it's a centerpiece. So
Yeah.
instead of having something that's maybe a non-functional centerpiece, here's this centerpiece and it's a conversation starter and
Yes.
looks like a little robot. I think it's really funny that it doesn't actually grind the salt though.
You would think, yeah, you would think that is kind of crazy, isn't it?
Like,
Yeah.
It's now Alexa enabled.
Oh yeah,
see,
it
that's great.
let me just to put the icing on the cake, it works with that, and it works with Amazon Echo.
Yeah. So
So if the design and the 4-hour battery didn't convince you, Amazon Echo better.
Yeah.
yep, Amazon can now know when I'm out of salt, so they can start sending ads. Yeah, exactly. Combine this with their dash button, and you'll never be out of salt.
Oh, I see what you mean. I see where the salt's actually dispensed. It doesn't. You have to pull a tray out, and like take it off of a tray. It doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't even grind it.
No, it doesn't.
Wow. Okay. Huh. Interesting.
Yes, voice enabled, so you can tell it to dispense half a tea. I've had enough problems with voice recognition that I think this is really humorous. Alexa, dispense half a teaspoon of salt. Everybody out in the audience now has their smart device, dispensing half a teaspoon of salt.
Oh gosh, that is the best.
Cliff just did a prototype for a client of a voice-enabled prototype, and it is, it's pretty cool actually. It worked pretty well, but there are some sort of gotchas, like
some big gotchas.
You suddenly wind up with this pile of salt.
Like,
you can't even pull the tray out.
I did not say a half a pound. I said half a teaspoon.
Dispensing 5 tablespoons of salt.
No, stop.
Now dispensing 10 tablespoons of salt.
Like crap. Just let her run.
Yeah. just let it finish.
Oh, don't turn it back on.
Alexa, stop. Yes. Alexa, cease.
Yes, exactly. Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Oh, it's so funny. Well,
I think that might be my favorite from the list.
So I'm going to tell you, there's one more I do want to mention that I think is the best one ever, and I think it's just ridiculous. So at the end of the show notes, we've got, I don't know, gosh, probably a whole list of additional articles where you can see probably another 30 some odd scenarios. Probably the one I think I really need to think about getting here is the IoT rectal thermometer.
Oh.
You gotta share that with the world.
Oh gosh, yes. I mean, why would you not want that, for goodness sakes?
Hashtag big rectal data.
Oh gosh, when I seen that one, I mean, trust me, there are so many. I seen that, I'm like, what? We don't even own a rectal thermometer. I didn't even realize they still made those. I like, we've got one of those ear thingies, right, where you just put it in the ear and half the time our battery's dead on it. But that's how we find out. I was like, who's using these rectal thermometers, for goodness sakes?
Now connect that to the cloud and you got something.
Yeah, it's totally connected. You can actually, it'll upload your temperature to wherever you want it. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is crazy.
I mean, I guess I can see very specific cases where that might be useful in maybe medical type situations, but I wouldn't want it.
No. Nope.
Like,
talking about privacy
things, it's really nice to get away from them. I don't know why they want to go back to those dark ages, but I guess you gotta do your thing. Okay.
So as Cliff mentioned, it's worth noting that we have some other items in the show notes. There are a bunch of articles that we're not going to have a chance to talk through. They're just too many. Maybe we'll do another episode of these.
Yeah, I think it'd be good.
Yeah. But if you're interested, you can stop by the website. You can check out the show notes and read up on some of these other idiotic devices that maybe nobody needs. Guys, do we have anything else today?
That's the breadth of it for the show. As always, we'll go back to kind of news segments and things like that next week. Maybe we'll throw in one of these or not, or even talk about kind of potentially what IoT devices Matthew or Zeineb and I have in our houses.
Right. Well, and I think maybe some interesting things coming up. We might have some interviews for you soon. And we also, I think it might be kind of cool after we've all seen Ready Player One. It might actually be kind of cool to have a segment on one of the episodes coming up talking about the depiction of IoT in that movie and what we think of that. So,
yep. So that means, Zeineb, you may have to go see the movie.
May have to go see the movie.
Yeah. Okay.
Just call it part of your internship. It's research.
So, folks, as we've mentioned before, if you have any feedback, shoot us a message at podcast@gearforgesoftware.com, or you can find us on Twitter. Our handle is @GearforgeIoT. Remember the days when I couldn't remember that? Wait, what is our Twitter handle?
Mm-hmm.
But that wraps things up for this week's episode. Cliff, do you have anything fun planned for the weekend?
Well, my big thing is I'm going to go see Ready Player One because Matthew and I can't talk about it until I've seen it. I've read the book, but I'm looking forward to the movie.
I can't wait to
I
talk to you
plan
about
on eating lots of ham on the Sunday. Lots of ham.
Fantastic. Or is
Maybe
that
with toast.
hamtastic?
Hamtastic, that's right.
Zeineb, how about you?
I believe I'm going away to Cambridge for the weekend, which is very exciting. So I get a weekend off, nothing, just
Nice.
no contact with human civilization. You can't wait. And I'm doing interviews for the virtual exchange project back at the university, so that's also going to be really fun.
Fun.
That sounds fantastic.
How about you, Matthew?
Well, the Star Wars episode number 8 came out on Blu-ray this week, so I think my fun plan this weekend is to watch that again. I really only saw it once in the theater, and I wouldn't mind watching it again. So maybe I'll carve out a couple hours to do that.
There you go. That'd be a ton of fun. I've got a few with those movies I got to buy yet again.
So that wraps things up. Thank you so much for listening, and we hope you'll join us again for next week's show. Until then, so long and be well. Bye, you guys.
Bye.